Kristal Hart, and we are at the 44th Thurman Munson Awards ceremony, which recognizes athletes for their performance on and off the field. The benefactor of the event is the AHRC New York City Foundation, which helps children and adults with disabilities. Thurman Munson played for the New York Yankees from 1969 to 1979. He was the catcher and captain, but his life was tragically taken at the age of 32 while he was practicing takeoffs and landings in his private plane at the Akron Canton Airport. Since then, his widow, Diana Munson, keeps his memory alive through this event.
You know, it seems like the riser gets higher and higher every year. This is my 22nd Thurman Munson Awards dinner and press conference. I'm John Cirillo. It's been a pleasure to be involved with AHRC New York City for more than 2 decades, and to have amazing athletes that have given of their time and are such good people to be involved. Sometimes the journey is a smooth one, going from year to year. Jay Horwitz, our friend, connected us with Hojo almost a year ago. And then sometimes there are bumps in the road. And I got to meet Tino Martinez about a month and a half ago, and the first words out of his mouth were, "I love Diana." So here we are. Let me introduce who I call the First Lady of the Thurman Munson Awards dinner. She's helped to carry the flag for this great charity, and for her late great husband, who, you know, it's amazing because many of us never met Thurman, but we kind of feel like he's our best friend. So here's Diana Munson. Diana.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be back 45 years later when they told me it wouldn't last 2 or 3 years. So for us, my family, who's sitting back there and probably don't want to be acknowledged, but I've had the support of them my whole life, and I can't tell you how much it means as a family to come back and honor Thurman and talk to all of the people who are so loyal and loving and make us feel so welcome. It's like coming home for me, it really is. And to raise all of this money for AHRC and to be able to go to the hospitals, to the schools, to the camps, and to see the money in action and to see the people that have made so much of their lives and have been able to do things that they didn't think they were capable of doing, and I feel like we have a small part in that. So I want to thank everybody for turning out and for making this dinner continue and making us feel loved, and Thurman is up there smiling going, "I'm a fat little catcher from Ohio, what are you doing?" So thank you so much, and I want to congratulate the recipients, the wonderful people, and I always admire when people take time out of their busy schedules, and every one of these people are busy, and they take time to show up, and I think that means a lot. So thank you, and let's have a great evening.
You know, we talked about the amazing charity and the works of AHRC New York City. $21 million has been raised in the past 43 years, and hopefully that number is going to escalate in a big way tonight. I want to welcome to the podium, just for a few words on the foundation, Marco Damiani. Marco.
Thank you, John. I love that pronunciation, by the way. It was spot on. I appreciate that. Diana, I can't thank you enough. It's so great to see you again and your family. We've been around for 75 years. This is our 75th anniversary, founded by a mom in the Bronx who wouldn't put her kid in an institution, and her spirit, Amber Greenberg, lives here, and so does Diana. She's really helped us get here, too. You know, we envision a world where people with disabilities are included, where the power of difference is embraced, valued, and celebrated. And by being here, our amazing athletes, our corporate sponsors, you are telling everybody that people with disabilities belong in society. They can contribute. They can make a difference. And one of the great benefits here, aside from the money, we love the money, is the stories that get told on the media about the work that we do and the power of our athletes really telling that story over and over again. So I can't thank you all enough. Can't wait to hear more about all the great stories from the athletes here. I'm going to catch them later. And thank you all for being here. Really appreciate it.
You know, I'd be remiss not to thank all of the media for their support of this benefit, and AHRC and Diana and the honorees. The legacy has continued because of you, and it's much appreciated. Okay, our honorees tonight. Our first honoree is not a baseball player, but she grew up a stone's throw from Yankee Stadium, and I was fortunate enough to broadcast her games at Fordham back in the late 70s. Oh, wow. And we went to our own backyard for this honoree. She is in 3 Halls of Fame: Fordham University Athletics, the New York City Basketball Hall of Fame, and the Bronx Basketball Hall of Fame, and is an Atlantic 10 trailblazer. And she sure did blaze the trail. Her 1,999 rebounds was a women's college record for 30 years. 30 years. And 2,500 points still stands as the all-time Fordham University record. And her number hangs from the rafters at the Rose Hill Gym. And Gregory O'Connell.
Hi. I'm just thrilled to be here tonight. This is so exciting. I've really honestly been blown away by this whole thing. I can't believe I'm standing here with Tino Martinez and Howard Johnson and all the other people who have been honored in the past. It's just amazing, and I'm so grateful. And I'm looking forward to tonight very, very much.
And could you just talk a little bit about how familiar you were with the Yankees growing up in the Bronx, but being more of a basketball aficionado?
Okay, but I have to be honest.
Well,
We weren't Yankee fans. We were Met fans.
yeah.
But you didn't have to be a Yankee fan to love Thurman Munson. Everybody loved Thurman Munson. He was just amazing. I always thought the catcher was the coolest position in baseball. And when he passed away, it was really devastating for everybody. But as I said, you don't have to be a Yankee fan to love Thurman Munson.
Talk a little bit about playing women's basketball, 30, 40 years ago, before women's sports had reached the zenith that it has today. Did you realize what was happening?
No, we didn't really know what was going on. We just played and we had a great time. But there are a lot of similarities. I mean, we had a great deal of commitment. We were very serious about the team, as athletes are today. We wanted to win. We were competitive. We were good.
Oh, yeah.
We were good back then. And I think that would hold up even by today's standards. And it was just a wonderful experience playing basketball at Fordham. It was great. Made lifelong friends. We did very well. The differences were, we didn't have a lot of money. We didn't travel a lot. We didn't have any gear. We didn't have sneakers. We really didn't have any of that. But we didn't really know what we didn't have. We just made the best with what we had. And so it's different in a lot of ways today. And I'm happy that it's different and it's better in terms of all those things I just said. But I think the similarities are probably just as big as the differences.
I think the Fordham students really supported the women's team almost as well as the men's team because of how well you did. Was that expected, unexpected? You had a lot of friends on campus.
Yeah, they were very good to us. I mean, it wasn't packed or anything, but we had plenty of fans who followed us all the time. And I guess followed both teams, actually. But yeah, it was wonderful to have people come to the games. But it wasn't packed, but it was good enough.
Yeah, thank you, Amy. You know, as I mentioned, Jay Horwitz, what a friend. Just has been so supportive of gathering, you know, honorees for this event, and we appreciate it. So here is, we mentioned Ann had her number retired at Fordham, and this gentleman behind me, and that's why the brainstorm, wow, Hojo's number was retired and he's never received the Munson Award. This guy, you know, having watched the '86 Mets, could steal bases as well as hit home runs. There are very few 30-30 guys in baseball, and this is one of the best, and some of his records still holds. And he's in the top 2 or 3 in about 5 categories with the Mets, and we all remember those teams with Strawberry and Gooden and Bobby O and Ron Darling just really caught the fancy of all of New York. So we welcome Howard Johnson. Hojo, thank you.
Thanks, John. I appreciate it. Diana, thank you so much for having us all up here. It's unbelievable. Ann could still dominate me on the court right now, I guarantee it. And Tino could still hit, I think. This guy, he doesn't even age. I'm excited to be here. You know, when I was a player with the Mets, and I lived in New York, we used to come to the Munson dinner all the time. And I thought it was really cool because there was like a who's who of baseball at the table. And my wife and I used to come here, and it was just a great time. And just to be up here now as a recipient, it's special. But I do want to say, you know, prayers for Daryl. He's getting over a difficult heart attack, but he's going to be okay. And also for Lenny Dykstra, who had a stroke about a week or 2 ago. So he's doing pretty good, I guess. But anyway, I want to thank you again, guys, really for this honor. And John, got some questions?
Just talk a little bit about 2 things. One about Thurman and,
yes,
you know, him as a player and how respected he was by
yes,
by his peers and people who heard about him after that.
Well, when I got to the major leagues, Thurman was already. I was older than Thurman. I mean, excuse me, I was much younger than Thurman. I remember watching him on television every time the Yankees were on. I mean, the Yankees were on a lot. I grew up in Florida, and the Yankees have a big following down there, and it seemed like they were always on TV. Thurman, the way he played was kind of the way we like to play. You know, he was hard-nosed, in your face, wanted to win, respected by his teammates. The league respected him. Baseball respected him. That's kind of the way that I learned to play the game when I got up to the major leagues. That's how you did it. You know, the Thurman way was the way you did it. And I just, when I found out, when I knew about the plane crash, I thought, wow, that's so crazy. A big league guy got killed in a plane crash. And then finding out it was Thurman Munson, you know, you just never forget that name, ever. I mean, that name is like locked into us. So any baseball player, I think nowadays, in 20 years, they're not going to know who I am or Tino, but they're going to know who Thurman Munson was. I guarantee it. And that's something that you can't put a price tag on it. Yep.
Very, very humble guy. People will always remember the '86 Mets and 4-time Yankees champions, too. Well, you know, we have another Fordham family member here. Your son or daughter?
My daughter.
His daughter went to Fordham, and he gave the commencement speech and got his honorary doctorate from Fordham. So 4-time World Series champion, and like Thurman, he's in Monument Park. What more can you say about a Yankee? But 4-time champion, really has been great, as Hojo and Ann have been with the media prior to the dinner. So without further ado, here's Tino Martinez.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here with Howard and Ann as well. First of all, I want to say, Ann, you couldn't get one more rebound? 1,999 rebounds, you couldn't get the 2,000? Yeah, but I'm sure you didn't know. Anyhow, no, I'm honored to be here. Like Hojo said, I grew up in Tampa in Florida as well, so my parents were really good friends with Lou Piniella growing up, and Lou talked about Thurmans so much over the years, even the years I played for him as a young player in Seattle. And I've been to spring training the last 20 years with the Yankees, and Ron Guidry's there, Willie Randolph's there, Mickey Rivers is there, and they talk about Thurman constantly and how great of a teammate he was, how hard-nosed of a player he was, how he wasn't afraid of George Steinbrenner and wasn't afraid to go up to talk to him and get in his face if he had to on behalf of the team. So you got to respect that, everything about him. So again, I'm honored to be here, and I was lucky to be with Diane a few times in spring and Old Timers Day the last few years, and I always go up to her and talk to her and tell her I love her because she's fantastic, and how much I love Thurman as well.
Just talk a little bit about to win 4 championships with one team and the basic same core of players. What was so special about those Yankees besides your hitting?
Well, we had a great group of guys, as everybody here knows. All the guys on our team were kind of like what Howard said, Thurman Munson type guys. We were grinders. We weren't a bunch of home run hitting teams and striking out. We played baseball the right way. We played hard. We played defense. We got good pitching. We played small ball when we had to. We hit the home runs when they came, but we just after we won one World Series, we wanted to do it again, and our group of guys was never satisfied with one. They wanted to win 2, and then we won 2, then 3 and 4 came along, and we just didn't give up on that dream every year as we had. So it just happened. I wouldn't say we're lucky to do it. We worked hard for it, and it was just a great group of guys and a great coaching staff.
Great, thank you, Tino.
And Gregory O'Connell. Now, they were saying that 1,999 rebounds, but there is a great story to that. So do you want to tell the audience how that...
Sure. It was my last game, obviously, our last game. And I knew I needed a certain number of rebounds. I don't remember the exact number, but at the time I knew what that was. So we were just playing, going along, and coming towards the end of the game, the sports information director at the time, there was about a minute and a half left, and he came up to the bench and he said, "You need 2 more rebounds." And the whole team heard that, obviously. So what happened was my teammates were trying so hard to help me get that rebound. Somebody threw the ball off the backboard, and if he didn't come over, I would have gotten those rebounds without even thinking about it. But since we were trying so hard to get the rebounds, I went over somebody's back, and I fouled out of the game, and that was the end of that. So I was short by 1. But it's okay. It makes a good story.
As I was there, they retired your number. Wasn't it 55?
Yes, that was back in 2009. So that was really nice. When you go in the gym now, you see the banner hanging. It's cool.
And some of your teammates, they were talking about how it was quite different. You brought your own shoes, your own oranges, your own lunch. So it's quite different today.
Yes, it's very different. As a matter of fact, when the men got new warm-ups, we got their hand-me-downs. And they weren't even nice, but we thought they were nice. But it was it was fine. We didn't really know. We knew we needed more, but we weren't bitter about it. We weren't upset. We just made the best with what we had. And, it's great that today things are so different in that regard. But things are very much the same in terms of a lot of things, like the love of the game, the commitment you give to the game, how hard you work, your competitiveness. So there's a lot of things that are the same, but there are a lot of things that are different.
How do you think Title IX affected it? Because in your day, Title IX hadn't come into play, had it?
Title IX was a few years before I got to college, but it really hadn't kicked in very well yet. And the biggest change is the number of scholarships, and that athletes today get their college education for free, which is wonderful. But it just wasn't that way yet when I was in college.
And today, what are you doing?
I'm a retired guidance counselor. I was a guidance counselor in Holy Trinity High School in Hicksville, Diocesan High School, Catholic school. And then I retired in June of 22. But I was in the Catholic education system for 36 years.
And tell me about Thurman Munson and receiving this award.
Oh, I don't even know what to say. It's such an honor. I can't believe I'm receiving it, honestly, and I'm not just saying that to be modest. The people who have received this award are just amazing people. Olympic athletes, professional athletes, but getting the award named after Thurman Munson is just wonderful. He was like I said, I was a Met fan, not a Yankee fan, but everybody loved Thurman Munson. He was great. I mean, he was a catcher, he was a cool guy, he worked really hard, he was hard-nosed, he just, it's wonderful. And what his wife, Diana, has done, raising all the money that, for AHRC, I think they said $21 million. That's amazing, so it's really a thrill to be here tonight, I have to admit.
We're at Gallagher's Restaurant in New York City, where Fordham University salutes all-time women's basketball great Anne Gregory O'Connell upon her retirement of number 55 at the Lady is a Champ benefit, with all proceeds going to the Fordham women's basketball team.
We will be retiring her jersey number 55 on December 5th at 1 o'clock at the Ryder Fordham game. Very exciting time for Fordham women's basketball, Fordham athletics, and Fordham University. Here is the all-time leading scorer and rebounder in Fordham basketball history, and today still holds the rebounding record both in AIAW and NCAA history. So it's a very, very important event for our program and for our university.
I graduated from Fordham in 1983, and my freshman year was Ann's senior year. And I was into broadcasting and wanted to do play-by-play. And the first game I ever broadcast was a Fordham women's team. And I didn't know much about women's basketball back then. But I do remember hearing the scouting report. Oh, this girl, Gregory's really good. And I'm thinking, okay. And the first game I ever broadcast, I'm watching this woman play. And I don't think I have ever to this day seen somebody play harder. And it completely changed my outlook on women's basketball and how wonderful these women's players are.
This is a great, great honor for the university to retire Ann's number. It's only the second basketball number to be retired. We had Ed Conlon, who was a consensus All-American, played in the NBA for 8 years, and Ann is the leading scorer, leading rebounder in the history of Fordham. And besides that, she's given back to the community. She's a guidance counselor at high school and loves people and loves to give back. And this is a great honor for the university to publicly honor Ann.
I'm Marianne Riley. I'm the Senior Associate Athletic Director at Fordham University, also a contemporary of Ann's. I played at Manhattan College. I was on the first women's basketball team, and when I think of Fordham women's basketball, I think of Anne Gregory. When we played against Anne, notice I say we played against Anne, we didn't play against Fordham, because that was the big rivalry. Could we stop Anne Gregory?
When you look at her numbers, over 2,000 points, it's a joke, but 1,999 rebounds. All my teammates did so well. I scored 1,000 points. My good friend Liz McGovern scored over 1,000 points. Mary Hayes was the assist leader. So she wasn't just the ball hog, she was a giving player.
As a member of the very first team, there was Whale before Title IX. And we just basically played for the love of the game. We played on a little small court, had no trainer, no uniforms. We created our own uniforms, but we loved the game. I hope the ladies today love it as much as we did, and just to see the skill level that has developed, it's truly inspiring, and I wish these young ladies all the best. It certainly has changed from my day of bring your own sweats and take your own car and slice your own oranges.
My name is Mary Gunning. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, and I had the honor of playing with Anne Gregory for 3 years at Fordham. I was one of those reserve players. If we were up 40 or down 40, I got in. But playing with Annie was a wonderful experience, just to watch her as a real team player, as a gracious teammate who wanted to make everyone around her better. And even though, as I said, I didn't really play a lot, I learned a lot from just watching her about what it means to be a good friend, a good supporter, and really to play as hard as she did. Being from Baltimore, I didn't know a lot about New York, certainly not a lot about the Bronx, but she welcomed me into her home, made me feel like I was a member of her family, and just taught me a lot of the life lessons that I still learn today. So congratulations, Annie, and it was an honor to play with you.
I'm Joanne Little, graduated from Fordham in 1978. Played with Ann for 2 years, and they were wonderful years. She was an absolute pleasure. She was, you passed it into her. You knew that she was either going to score, she just got it all done. She was the catalyst that changed the whole team and brought us to, in my senior year, we went down to played the small college nationals, and then unfortunately, I wasn't there for for the next year, but they went to Tennessee and lost to Tennessee. And it was, she made the program what it was. And not only is she a great player, but she's a great person.
With us is Diana Munson, and we are at the Thurman Munson event, 44 years. Tell me, did you ever think it would go this far? Originally they said it would be 3.
Well, they said the most it would be 3 because it was built on sentiment. And New Yorker said, no, it's not built on sentiment. We love Thurman Munson, and they always show me. And the fact that we were able to raise over $21 million and do wonderful works for AHRC and honor my favorite Yankee, means everything.
And tell us a little bit about the AHRC and some of what they do for New York City and children and adults with disabilities.
Well, they do everything. They have schools, they have camps, they have group homes. They are able to take children and adults. They're able to take some of the children who are unable to speak in the beginning, and by the end of the year they're singing and they're feeling happy about themselves. I've gone to these group homes, I've gone to the schools, and I've seen what the monies have done. And it just, in the beginning, my heart wasn't nearly as involved with AHRC as it was with Thurman. And now there's a little competition going on because I love AHRC and I love everything it stands for.
And it must be great coming back and seeing all the people who support this.
Oh, it's wonderful. There are people who come every year. I'm amazed. I recognize faces, and they'll tell me, yeah, this is my 10th year. Yeah, that's unbelievable in New York, I think.
It is. We love you here in New York. We love Thurman Munson, and hey, go Yankees.
Go Yankees for sure. I'll always be a Yankee.